Hi everybody, Grandma Bev here from Life with Grandma Bev, and welcome to my channel. Those of you who always watch my channels know that I started doing reviews on movies that Bob and I go to. Now, during the pandemic, we did our weekly Friday movies at home. We'd pop popcorn, watch a movie, stream it or whatever. But since we've been home here in Washington now, we're feeling a little safer going to the movie theater. And of course, there's certain movies. Who's that? There's certain movies that you want to see in the movie theater. And this week was the first week. In fact, it was the first day that Downton Abbey was out. Yes! Now, we never watched Downton Abbey back when it was real popular, it was out and you had to wait week to week. We streamed it one summer a couple of years ago. Fell in love with it. In fact, so much so that when we're going to London towards the end of July. We're taking a tour out to the Highclere Manor where they film it, and then also to the little town that's in the series. Now, when they came out with the first movie, we thought, oh yes, we were so excited. Went and saw it, loved it, and then lo and behold, they just came out with another one. Couldn't wait. And it's, let's see, what's it rated? It couldn't be rated very bad, that's for sure. I've got a little bit of notes here. PG, see. The Rotten Tomatoes rated it at 85%. Now, of course, the audience score, because we know better, it's 98%. Of course, it's got all the regulars in it. There might be a couple of different people or people that weren't in it this time. Let's see if it makes it obvious as to which ones. No, it doesn't really say that there's any different people. But pretty much all the regulars. So it feels like when you go in, the movie starts like you're seeing old family. You know what I mean? It's like, all their little quirks and habits. And I found in the beginning, though, I spent about the first 15, 20 minutes or so figuring out who some of them were before, people that I didn't recognize so much, that weren't like the real regulars. And, of course, old Mary, as they pronounce her name so often, Mary. Mary tends to be the one who's kind of taken over being in charge. And the premise behind the movie is Grandma, the old dowager, as they call her or refer to her as, finds out that she's inherited a villa in the south of France. Nobody knows why. She didn't even know she had inherited, this person put it in her will because he had a wife and family. So at the same time, a gentleman shows up at Highclere Castle and says, "I'd like to do a movie using their castle, set back in the early 1920s, something like that. What do you call it? Before this, when the silent movies were just starting to end, and people were just going to start producing talkies. So they were going to pay the Crawleys a large sum of money to do it there. And they've been the Crawleys have been struggling to keep the update on their big place. So Mary decided that, hey, this might be a good idea. We can replace the roof. Well, of course, her father, he didn't want anything to do with that, So Mary took him up to the attic and showed him all the pots that are set down up in the attic with water dripping down in them. So he finally agreed, okay, but you're going to be in charge. Well, most of the family decided that they were going to make a trip because they were invited by the son of the gentleman who left Grandma the villa. They were invited to come see it, the whole family. So they decided to take a trip while that movie was being filmed. I was half expecting one thing. I don't want to give stuff away too much, but when they drove up to see the place, so they were there while this movie was being filmed. The guy who's the director making the film is Hugh Dancy, and if you watch the new Law and Order, Hugh is the prosecutor on the new Law and Order out now. So when you see his face, you think, where have we seen him before? So it's fun going when you've seen the whole series up to now. Because, you, like I said earlier, you know all the quirks of everybody. And when different things happen, you think, oh, wow, so-and-so is going to not like this. Or, oh, wait till so-and-so sees this. So I don't think it would be as interesting if you hadn't followed the series and gone to the first movie. You couldn't really come in off the street and sit down and watch the movie and know immediately what's going on. I mean, you can, but it's more effective if you really know the background of the family. I mean, in this movie, of course, there's laughs, there's tears, there's surprises, some new surprise revelations. Why did this man leave Grandma the villa when he has a wife and son, So, you want to watch it to find out what that's about. Like I say, you encounter several emotions during it. So, a lot of people have kind of come into their own as far as their growing up from when we first started watching them. There's a new marriage, there's, new babies, there's, all kinds of stuff. So, did we like it? Yes. Both of us. I give it 5 stars, but then I always do. And it made me even more anxious, and Bob, to go see the place, at the end of July. I mean, we've had this every year since we saw the series. We've had a tour booked to go see it, the place. And, of course, because of the situation, in the world, we had to keep canceling it. So, we're trying to book this trip, and we're working it around when they're going to be having, the Downton Abbey tours out from London down to, Highclere Manor. Are we nuts? We had the same reaction after we watched Game of Thrones. Now everywhere we go, where they're going to, they've filmed a lot of Game of Thrones, we want to go see it. But anyway, so if you're a Downton Abbey fan, you won't be disappointed. No. So, please comment below. Share, like, and subscribe. And I hope you're all having a terrific weekend. We are.